Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition of Community Showcased. I'm your host, Luqmaan Shadrach. Today we chat about a very interesting initiative that's happening, would you believe it, all the way in the UK. And to chat a bit more about this initiative is the good people from the Cape Flats Sporting Academy. First up, Ashraf Ali. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Luqmaan, to you and your viewers.
Thanks very much for joining us. We're going to get into this exciting initiative. I can't wait to chat about it. And then James Fernie also joining us. Thanks very much, James.
Salam, good morning.
Wa alaikum salam. Guys, it's so amazing to hear what you guys are doing, but to get into the context of how this all came together. Ashraf, you've been involved in cricket and sports for a very long time. Give our viewers a bit of an idea about some of the work you've done in the cricket fraternity.
Okay, so obviously, as you know, with Hanover Park Cricket Club, one of the things that has been lacking and is still lacking in our communities and specifically on the Cape Flats and in the townships is facilities. And proper, well-maintained facilities. And we've been beating this drum for the last 20, 25 years. And it's just come to the point where we've decided we have to help ourselves before others come on board to come on board and help us.
Absolutely.
And so we've taken it upon ourselves to drive this process. And we've got a concept which we'll talk about later. That we believe is the vehicle to take us there.
100%. What are some of the great strides you've made over the years? I know you've had some wonderful achievements, but just to give our viewers a better idea, some of the great work you've done.
So look, specifically around cricket, Hanover Park Cricket Club was struggling to fill 2 senior teams.
Right.
And over the years, we decided that we need to become self-sustainable and we need to build capacity, human capacity. And over that period of time, we have 4 senior teams, a veterans team, a women's team, a full junior structure, under 11s to right.
And how many years does this take you to achieve?
Well, I've just stepped down as an office bearer, and that's after 11 and a half years.
Amazing.
And so it's a hard slog, but if you have the like-minded people and the networks and the support around you, like James and his organization with Ando has been a great asset to the club and to Cape Flats Sports Academy, then you're well on your way to achieving those type of goals.
Great. Let me bring James in as well from Utando. Tell us a bit more about your background, but more importantly, how did this partnership happen?
So Utando South Africa is a non-profit that we started back in 2008, linking tourism with community development projects.
Okay.
And in April 2020, we reached out to a few community projects in Hanover Park, and really our partners there have become more friends than partners and colleagues.
Right.
So I'm very proud to be a patron of the Hanover Park Cricket Club and working with a couple of other community projects in that community. And I honestly, sport and music, I think are 2 sectors which can drive real change and also unite people.
Of course, I think the arts has grown over the years. Many facets of the arts, music being one of them as well, and I think you've identified that. But how is your company going to, assist in this initiative?
So, it's a fantastic initiative to be building a sports centre on the Cape Flats in the first place, but the wonderful thing that we are planning is to build it out of tires.
Out of tires?
Tires.
Like tires on the car?
Yes, tires, eco bricks,
Wow.
plastic bottles filled with rubbish,
Right.
bottles, and also polystyrene film set waste bricks.
Why did you choose this type of material to
Well,
build?
I was introduced to the Builders Natural Building Collective in 2018. And we took a big chance for them in 2020 in building the first early childhood development center in a community called Delft.
Okay.
Out of 1,700 tires, 6,000 eco bricks, plastic bottles filled with rubbish, and 6,000 polystyrene film set waste bricks. Film sets that are built out of polystyrene, crushed into bricks by a company called Green Set. And the finished product is without doubt one of the most beautiful, strong, just really inspiring buildings. And we are busy with the second school now in Heiderveld,
Okay.
which falls under Mario van Niekerk's Great Commission United. The roof has just gone on. And when Ashraf started discussing the idea of a multi-purpose sports centre on the Cape Flats, I said, come have a look at Goal 50. Come have a look at this building modality, because they are such incredible beacons of hope and light and love for planet as well as people. They are also...
I think it's a very good idea because, you know, we are using reusable items as well. We're not throwing anything away. I think you brought a couple of diagrams.
I did, so I'd love to show the viewers.
This is what that looks like.
This is a all-wisey educare. That's Mama Yandi standing there with her baobab tree of happiness, peace, love, and joy.
Lovely.
That is made...
And that was made of all the materials that you were talking about.
Yes. So your viewers can see the tires in the walls.
Yes, I can see.
And it's also, you know, the plans are approved by the City of Cape Town.
That was my next question. And also, how long does something like this take to construct?
This building took about a year all in.
Wow.
That included all of the installation of the jungle gyms, AstroTurf, etc.
Okay, we're going to come back to this very shortly. Ashraf, being in the sports facility, being, you know, part of Hanover Park Cricket Club, you know the lack of facilities that we have in Cape Town, all over, not only in the Cape Flats. What does this mean to a club, a sporting person, knowing that this is going to assist the community?
I think it's going to create an opportunity for people to continue to dream. We've been dreaming, but if once they see something going up, it's going to give them a sense of belonging. It's going to give them hope. And all this also emanated while James was busy with this, and while we were talking about this, I had conversations with Moeen Ali from a Cape Flat Sports Academy perspective. And this is where this thing basically also spiraled out of into this situation. And Moeen rebranded his father's academy to Moeen Ali Cricket Academy. And I knew he was coming to Cape Town to play in the SAT 20 this past year. And I said to him, how about Cape Flat Sports Academy managing your academy here in Cape Town? The Moeen Ali Cricket Academy, Cape Town. And I said to him, we have one challenge. We don't have the proper facilities. And this is where this whole idea came about. And when I spoke to Moeen about this concept, he fell in love with the concept, the idea. And today he's on board with some others, which we'll mention later on. And I think for the community, this is going to be a game changer. Not only for our community, but for communities around the Cape Flats and the townships. And like James is saying, you know, even South Africa, we want to be pioneers. And who knows, we can even take it to the UK.
100%. I think this model can be copied, not only in South Africa, but throughout Africa, primarily because, you know, building materials are always the biggest concern when constructing a sports facility. Is our community ready to accept something like this? I mean, we have the first model built, and what is the feeling of that community now that that model is built?
Well, I think James is best to answer that, but from the little bit I've seen, just before the show, I mentioned about a gentleman that was walking the streets with no hope, thinking, what's my life going to mean going forward? A year later, he stands and he speaks to an audience to tell us what this has meant for him, not only for him, but for his family, because he can take, you know, money home, put food on the table, and he's got a sense of belonging, he's got hope, and he is kind of a pioneer because he now understands the build. So if we're going to build other facilities, he's going to be a future manager, foreman, whatever. He can be you know, the next one to
You
scale
can be
up the next
inspirational
one.
because, you know,
Inspirational.
it's now a tried and tested model, and that's what people want to see, that it works,
Yes.
that it is, you know, it supports the initiative that it's meant to, and obviously it's going to be a long-lasting, you know, feature in that community as well. James, very quickly, before we go for a break, what does the community of Delft think about that? You know, are they adaptable to the concept?
Oh, they're loving the concept. It's in fact, it's revolutionary.
Right.
And now in Hedeveld with Goal 50, all of the local people were trained up in this modality.
Okay.
And not only are they competing, I mean, we're now going to have two examples, not one. The workers at Goal 50 are in fact going to be doing five-a-side soccer pitches.
Oh, lovely.
And all of the schools out of tires.
Right.
And at Woodlands Primary School, it was Mario van Niekerk's idea. There is already an example of a five-a-side soccer pitch. And, you know, once you plant a seed, it's amazing how it flourishes and grows.
Stunning.
Because now we're speaking to an organization called Amaze Balls.
Right.
They doing all sorts of incredible things out of paddle balls.
Lovely.
And what
Yeah, I mean,
we're
that's a,
looking
that's
at
a lovely growing sport as well.
So what we're going to be doing, in fact, we're working on it. They're working on it at the moment. Instead of AstroTurf, a green surface that's made out of recycled paddle balls
Wow.
for five-a-side soccer pitches.
That's amazing. We're going to take a short ad break. When we come back, we're going to chat about the initiative that you're going to be leaving this afternoon, actually, to the UK to attend a gala dinner at Lord's. Do stay tuned. It's a wonderful initiative, and you, our viewer, could also get involved. You are still watching Community Showcase. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Community Showcase. We're chatting about a wonderful idea that's happening in the Western Cape. But more importantly, there are a few role players that are going to make this initiative happen. In studio, I've got Ashraf Ali from Cape Flats Sporting Academy, and then James Fernie from Utando. Gentlemen, thanks once again for coming into studio. Ashraf, before the break, we chatted about the gala dinner that's going to be happening at Lords. I'm so jealous because, I mean, that's just one of the iconic venues. And if you know anything about cricket, that's where things really, really happen on a yearly basis. Well, you know, more than that as well. You're off to a gala dinner at Lords. Tell us about how this all came together.
So naturally, when Moin and myself spoke, we spoke about this facility that we need. And we realized, look, it's not going to happen without engaging.
Sure.
And so we had to think up of a way of starting it, announcing our partnership, number one, and then also announcing the plans to raise funds for this multi-purpose indoor sports facility. And I said to him, South Africa is playing Australia in June.
Right.
How about we use that energy and that, hype of that particular final, because it's involves South Africa. And we made initial inquiries to host it before the final, but because of the ICC having their own, rules and regulations around big events, we could only secure the 18th of June.
Okay.
So the 18th of June, we'll be hosting a gala dinner at this iconic stadium called Lord's Cricket Ground in the famous Long Room.
Wow.
And Moin was instrumental in securing this. He's a member of the MCC, who's the custodians of this facility. So we were able to secure some good rates.
Lovely.
So that's a saving, money saved is money earned.
Of course, yeah.
And we then put together the whole process of putting tables together and selling tables. We still have 1 or 2 tables left. We're confident that is going to be snapped up now because a lot of interest closer to the time. And through this journey of engagement, we also reached out to JP Dumini.
Nice.
And my words to both JP and Moin was, look, you can run your own foundation and your own academy based on your strategies, your methodologies of how to develop a youth. But where we cannot be in isolation is on facilities. We cannot work in silos. Let's work together. And the two of them bought into that, and they agreed And so together as a collective, we are starting this journey, and we hope to bring others along
Of course.
on board.
Of course.
You know, fellow, and in different sports codes. And they are our two main guests at the dinner. Chris Cowdery, who's an ex-international England player. He actually played here in South Africa
Oh, wow.
for Avondale
No
Cricket
way.
Club. Yes,
down
with
the road,
Oma Henry and Bob Homer, Peter Kirsten,
Wow.
back in the time. So there's a link with Chris being part of it.
Yeah.
Dalen Oliver, well-known South African comedian,
yep.
travels all over the world to, you know, do his shows. He's the MC and providing the entertainment, and he's been a ex-teammate of mine. So it's kind of, there's a flavor between South Africa and the UK that we want to carry through this gala dinner.
Stunning.
And we still calling out whoever wants to come on board. It's not just about the gala dinner, it's beyond the gala dinner. So if there's organizations, individuals, philanthropists watching the show, come on board, pledge, you know, your time, your effort. And obviously we need funds to build this. And we're confident. We've got the World Cup 50 overs 2027, where we co-host with Namibia.
Correct.
If we could get this facility up, and it could be a legacy project.
100%.
You know, once the media is around, interest becomes...
I think that's a great initiative,
yeah.
great idea, and I'm sure it's going to happen. I think you're on the right track. You've got the right players involved, people that are passionate about giving back to the sport.
Good humans as well.
As well, definitely, and in their own right, run their own, you know, initiatives as well. James, the facility that's built in Delft at the moment, what are some of the sporting codes that they actually play at that facility?
No, so that's an early childhood development.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's for, you know, preparing their kids for for primary school.
Yeah.
And the same for Goal 50 in Heideveld. It's an early childhood development center.
I see. Okay.
But we, you know, if I can show you this board, out in Khayelitsha,
Right.
we are planning an agricultural hub for the Harvest of Hope micro farmers, so that they can aggregate their vegetables, which can then be sold to customers in Cape Town.
Right.
And this is going to be an incredible building in Khayelitsha. These buildings honestly are revolutionary because of their innovation and their inspiration and the hope that they provide.
Yeah. But also, I mean, just the initiative, how it's been built. What is the city's involvement in this? Have they donated the land? Are they coming on board in any way?
No, not at the moment. So the agri-hub will be built at the Moyowikaya urban farm in Khayelitsha, which is Mama Christina Carber's micro farm.
Right.
And the land is leased from the city. But we are really looking for investors. And I say investors because they will be investing in communities that are addressing critical challenges around food security, youth development, early childhood development, and investing in the future of South Africa, because they are pioneering. And South Africa, if we can get these 4 buildings right, the 2 early childhood development centers, the agri-hub, and the multi-purpose sports center, South Africa will be a pioneer and leader in the world in sustainable building.
I like that idea. I think that's the Moeen Ali Sports Centre that we built in, and where we're going to build this one.
So we haven't finalized where on the Cape Flats. There's been a few
possible sites.
We have engaged with the city. We have engaged with the education department also with regards to maybe on an existing school.
Gotcha.
But then there's a lot of, you know, red tape that we'll have to navigate and things like that. But I think if everybody is like-minded and understand that we need facilities and we need to make a difference for the youth, we need to give them up. We need to give them safe spaces.
You're right.
Then
You
we
draw
should be
conclusion to somebody that was in Heideveld that changed his life around with regards to getting involved in sport. Are you hoping this replicates to other areas?
For sure, it has to. Even Mario himself, he comes from a difficult background.
Wow.
And his story is equally amazing, where he turned his life around. And look what he's spearheading now.
Amazing.
And there's many Marios out there. There's many, you know, that we can replicate and do this. Yeah.
100%. James, I just want to come back with regards to that building in Delft at the moment. What is the feeling of the community now that this has been built and now that it's sustainable for their needs?
It's pride, you know. People feel. I actually ask people when they go into one of these buildings, how do they feel? And 100% of the time, people say they feel inspired, they feel hopeful, they feel positive, magical.
Nice.
And I would love to share that feeling, in fact, with millions of South Africans.
Absolutely.
And these buildings are epicenters of that feeling. And in fact, parents at Michael House in KwaZulu-Natal have reached out to us. And now we are, with Natural Building Collective, talking to Michael House in KwaZulu-Natal to build a early childhood development center and library out of tires.
Nice.
And how exciting would it be to have one building in each province?
Absolutely.
As a start.
Absolutely.
100%. I mean, we've brought people to both facilities just to let them get the touch and feel of it. JP was there last week, and he's fully invested in this. Fully invested because he can see this is something that can, definitely make a difference in communities. And through my engagements with business people, Moeen Ali put me onto someone from Johannesburg that he's been befriended over the years. The guy just landed and Moeen sent him a text. You need to meet Ashraf Ali. And he just thought it's funny. I'm just landing in South Africa, in Cape Town, and Moeen says I must meet this guy. He shows it to his colleague who picked him up. Do you know this guy, Ashraf? Yes, I do business with him. So, it's connected in a way, and it's fate for me. And this particular gentleman is so excited. We took him to Go 50, and he wants to build one in Johannesburg.
Amazing.
So that's how we can spread it.
Before we end, just remind our viewers very quickly about this amazing gala dinner and the hope that it's going to bring for South Africa.
So it's about raising funds there. We're setting our targets. We even, before going to the gala dinner, we're trying to pledge an X amount to tell the audience there that, look, we're not coming empty-handed. And the goal is to maybe raise $1 million at the gala dinner.
Inshallah.
And by the end of the year, 5 million. It's ambitious figures, but I think it's doable. There's evidence of 2 that went up, and that is the type of monies that was spent to put it up. And we feel it can do the same for the multi-purpose center.
Ashraf, thanks for the foresight and also your amazing commitment to our community. And I'm sure this, with all your hard work collectively with James as well, it's going to happen. We're looking forward to it. All the very best for your trip. Do give us feedback when you come back. And James, thanks very much for coming into studio and being part of this initiative as well. All the very best. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. There we go. That's how we end Community Showcase. Thanks for watching us. Remember to contribute where you can to this amazing initiative. From all of us at Hilaal in Cape Town, have a great afternoon. Assalamu alaikum.